안녕 친구들. This is the review for episode 7 and 8 of Heart to Heart. I had mentioned in episode 6 review that I'm really definitely committed now throughout the entire series. And episode 7 and 8, for the most part, I saw 7 last night, Friday, or actually yesterday morning, and then I saw episode 8 this morning. And I will say 7 to me felt a little bit like a filler episode. I don't know if anyone else feels that way. But part of it is because there was definitely development, but it wasn't as exciting of a development for me, certainly, because at the tail end of episode 6, no, I take that back. I was squealing internally, of course, because I don't squeal externally when I watch dramas, but I will say I was really ecstatic at the end of episode 6, and then in episode 7 when Tusu finally does have, I guess, their first date, if you will, with Hongdo. I was really excited for them, but at the same time I was cringing because their date was so awkward. I think it was in episode 7, right, where literally Hongdo only lasts a good 10-15 minutes of their date before she runs out, and in very classic second lead form, if you will, Tusu, even though I don't think he's rich, I don't think his family's rich, I think they're just very traditional, but he has a hyung who has allowed him the use of the entire restaurant. I guess he owns a sushi restaurant. And so it's this kind of really great scene where it's just him and Hongdo can barely look at him, and such. So there were some really cute moments, though, certainly, where he tells her his feelings, he confesses, and then she falls down on the floor, and she's like, I go, and then he says the same thing, and he collapses down with her and such. So there were some really great moments, and then on the flip side, there are just as I think good, sweet, rom-com moments between Hongdo and Iseok. And the thing that I really do appreciate about these two, and I'm just going along for the ride, certainly this series I don't think is going to be one of those critically analytical series that we can see. I'm going to try to film a impressions review on Kill Me Heal Me, which I think you will admit it's a very different tone, different genre and things like that, and there definitely there's a lot more to analyze. With this series, it's just more kind of sit back, enjoy, get in touch with the characters, start to care about the characters, certainly. But I bring those two pairings up. We've got Tusu and Hongdo, and then we've got Iseok and Hongdo, and she's very different with both of them. Here, she's very, she can barely look at him, make eye contact, she's very, it's kind of the case of admiration from afar, and so when she finally comes face to face and finds out that he likes her, she's thrilled, of course, but she's not herself. She's not comfortable with him. Whereas with Iseok, and this is how you know that they're the true pairing, if you will, because she's comfortable. She can say what she wants, do what she wants. When he pushes, she pushes back. Whereas with Detective Chung, she is very much on her best behavior, or tries to be, and things like that. And I think that's very reflective, certainly, of the way that she interacts with them. So, the gift of the red scarf, that's going to be really significant because she's thrilled. And then, of course, when she gets together with Iseok just looks at her and he's like, are you really wearing the scarf that he gave you when you're with me? And, all of those things. Because I will say that was the big... and I don't want to say it's an inconsistency, because within the context of the character and the story, certainly it does make sense, but there are times when she improves a little bit too quickly, and I think Iseok, mentions that in episode 8 as he's doing some studies on her particular disorder. He says to his boss or mentor, he says, she seems to have a severe case, but at the same time, she seems to be improving so much so that I wonder if she even has that case. And so those are some of the things that certainly he's kind of touching on. I did feel that episode 8 was a little bit heavy-handed in the psychology, more so than in any of the other episodes, because in the scene in episode 8 where he's dealing with Eunho, in terms of her psychological kind of, she has a breakdown, and so he makes a home visit and she's there. Very uncharacteristically, Hongdo calls Iseok out on his treatment of the second twin and says, is it more like, are you projecting your guilt and your kind of insecurities onto Eunho when you treat her? And as true as the story may be and the case may be in the context of the story, it just felt a little bit too heavy-handed, a bit too abrupt, because certainly, he's a trained psychiatrist, and yet Hongdo is attempting to give him advice, which in turn, actually, though, Iseok says that did change the way he approached her, and for the first time he confesses to his mentor that he was able to empathize with his patient and was able to talk with the patient about something that was personal to him as a way of helping that patient open up and such. So, when we're talking about the two relationships, she's not herself, certainly, and it feels a lot like a hit or miss, the give and take that goes on in this relationship, whereas with Hongdo and Iseok, their give and take is much more natural, certainly, and I love the fact, in total with the series, the fact that they're very upfront with each other, or they try to, if there's misunderstandings that could arise, it's pretty much cleared away. And of course the ending of episode 8, awesome, because Iseok understands certainly that Hongdo's going to need some time to take care of the situation in terms of resolving her feelings for Detective Chang. And Detective Chang, again, very much like the classic second lead, says, I understand, do what you need to do, but just know that I will wait. Certainly after you waiting for 7 years for me, I can do that and just wait for you. But at the very end of episode 8, if you haven't seen it yet and you don't like spoilers, you may want to stop. But episode 8 ends really greatly because Iseok is going to spend a late night at the clinic doing some research on Hongdo's condition, certainly, so that he could treat her better. Don't get me started on the whole doctor-patient relationship, and because he's going to lose objectivity, so I'm still, that aspect of that I'm just not thrilled with, because definitely it's that crossing of personal and professional. But anyway, and then when Hongdo comes upon him, because she went there to sack him late night dinner, to realize that he's there with his ex-girlfriend, not good. And then of course Detective Chang is there, and then he walks out with her as a way to comfort her. But then the thing that I really like about the series is it doesn't end with Iseok not knowing, but it ends with Iseok noticing Detective Chang and then realizing that Hongdo's there. And so that he's definitely going to be dealing with that at the beginning of episode 9. And so, I did see the trailer to episode 9, and I'm really loving the fact that they're dealing with things very directly, or as directly as possible. And this is the spoiler alert for episode 9. The fact that Iseok realizes that he's very different with Hongdo and his ex-girlfriend, and what a huge difference it can make in a relationship when you are emotionally engaged. And that's of course something that Detective Chang recognizes too, because with his ex-fiance, not emotionally engaged, nothing happened really, but with Hongdo, he is emotionally engaged, and so it makes the world of difference. So anyway, those are my little 2 cents for episodes 7 and 8. Hopefully I am within my 10 minutes and 30 seconds. But thanks for watching, and I will be here again next week for episodes 9 and 10. So if you just want to hear someone chat about what she thought of the 2 episodes, then stay tuned. I will be here with the next week. So alright, take care. I will see you then, and bye.